تذكر يوما كنت تعانق دمعة الفكر تناجي الله في صبر وترجو رحمة تسري فعاش القلب.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the reality show. We're on our third episode, and as you know, on the last episode we talked about basically how men think in certain situations. We gave you the scientific studies behind it. We did interviews out in Westfield, and so we gave you insight, and the response was really great, and it kind of went a bit viral as well, and a lot of sisters have benefited. We actually got a lot of sisters emailing us, and we tried to help them within these kind of matters, and even we had two sisters who actually dumped their boyfriend after we gave them an insight of, you know, look, you're being used, sister, you know, we just told her straight, you know, if this guy is not coming and asking for your hand, he's clearly using you. So it was a good really response, and we had a lot of sisters benefiting from it as well, so it was really great. Well, with this show, basically what I wanted to do was, I wanted to share a story of a sister, right? This sister was newly practicing. So one of our volunteers, Sister Asia, reconstructed the whole story and showed it from the actual sister's point of view. So we'll be right back after you watch that, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. This is my story. You know, I've always been quite a reserved sister. Not really hanging around many guys, quite shy. Then when I started practicing a couple of years ago, I cut out all guys, stopped talking to everybody. I had a few guy friends here and there, but it was nothing. It was like hellos, goodbyes, that kind of stuff. I was really focused. And then when I started work, I didn't really have to work with many guys, so I was fine with that. And recently, I started working with this guy, this brother, and at first I was didn't know how to approach it because I'd never really been in that situation before. But I had to work with him, so I just kind of got on with it. Then we started kind of chatting. Obviously you're working with someone, so you have to talk to them. But I kind of kept it very minimal. Then we was working exactly the same shifts, so we kind of had to talk a lot more. And we just started talking about general things. I found out that he was an atheist, so I thought, oh, I can maybe give him some dawah. And then I just started telling him about Islam and giving him gentle dawah, nothing extreme, trying to still keep it minimal. And then he kind of started, you know, understanding and taking it in, and he kind of said comments like I was very intellectual, which kind of no one really ever said to me before. Then, you know, it moved from, you know, Islamic talk, dawah, to kind of general life, his home life, where we lived. Started talking about his girlfriend, who he's with for 2 years, and he kind of opened up about that, and because it was natural, I didn't really think anything of it. And that went on for a couple of weeks, and I didn't really think anything of it. It was just natural, really normal. Then one night, randomly, he asked me could I drop him home, because we found out, like in earlier talks, that we kind of lived quite close to each other. He said, can I drop him home? I was really shocked, and I said no straight away. I really didn't know what to say. And then another day, he asked again, and I don't know what made me say yes, but I just heard myself saying, yeah, that's fine. And then he said, oh, you know, I really respect you as a woman, as a sister, and I respect your religion, and if you don't want to drop me home, it's fine, I can get the bus. And then I thought, oh, you know, I'll just do it this once. It'll be like a good deed to drop him home. Then it went from just the once to, you know, every like a couple of days here and there, and then it went every day, and we was finishing work at 10, quite late, then going home in the car together, and it was every night. Then, you know, at first he would, you know, just get out of the car, say nothing, just go about our business. Then we started kind of chatting more. He would kind of maybe stay in the car for maybe 10, 20 minutes, then it got longer. Then it kind of went from just me dropping him home to going out places. And I kind of just like let it happen. Like it kind of got I couldn't control it. It just was kind of natural in a weird way. Then he kind of started kind of holding my hand, and when we was in the car, he would rest his head on my shoulder, and I thought it was weird at first, and I kind of stopped it at first, but then after a few times I just let it slide and I didn't think anything of it. And then this happened a lot. Over the next couple of weeks, we was going out places, eating, doing things, and it was something I'd never experienced before, so it was all new to me, so I didn't know where to stop it. Then it kind of got really, really bad, like it escalated really quickly. And one day he kind of, when we was in the car, he kind of not jumped, but came on top of me, and then he stopped himself. But I was in that situation, I didn't know what to do, but I didn't push him off straight away, which I thought I would have done. And that really, really shocked me, but I let it happen, and I couldn't believe that I'd let it happen, because I was this, practicing sister, and he said the same to me. He was like, I can't believe I've done that to a good practicing sister like yourself. If this was any other guy, he would have done stuff long ago, but I didn't, I held back. And that kind of, shocked me. But then we kind of got back to doing stuff, and it escalated. We kind of was making plans, and I was then getting excited about, what could come of this. If I continued to give him dawah, I gave him books and CDs. If that continued, where could this go? And I started getting, excited about seeing him at the next shift and that kind of stuff. And then he was making all these promises, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll go here, we'll do this. And then it just escalated so quickly before I even realised. And then one day he then expressed that he was going to go to uni, and I really pushed him to do all these things because he was a really good guy. I pushed him, you can be successful, you can be focused, and he recently just went to uni, and we kind of stopped talking. And I was so emotional because I felt like we'd had this really deep connection, and it's kind of stopped. And then we made contact, and I felt really lost for a while. This is someone I came really close to. And then when I got back in touch with him, he just denied me totally. He said that he didn't know me, that none of this stuff happened. And I was devastated, and I was crushed because, I'd given him all of this dawah, we'd done so much stuff together, we shared experiences together, we kind of got really close, and I was really anticipating something to come out of this situation. And then for him to just say that he didn't know me, none of this stuff happened, I was making it up, this disgusting. I just don't know what to say. It was so horrible, and it's just put me into emotional turmoil, because I don't know what to do, because I've let myself get into this situation, I've developed these feelings, but I know that it's wrong, and I just feel so lost and all over the place. And I can't believe that I fell for everything, all the talk, the times that we were going to places, and all of that. I just let it get to me, and I let it escalate, and now I just feel so disgusted about myself that a practicing sister like this let this happen. And all of this out of one good deed that I thought I was doing, dropping him off home one day, and I thought I was generally doing a good deed, but it escalated so quickly and so naturally that I didn't kind of even stop to think about it. And that's kind of just that's my story, and I'm still struggling with it so much to this day, subhanAllah. I just want to kind of tell my story, to tell sisters that, just keep everything, as halal as possible, even if it is work, and you may be thinking you're doing this one good deed, but think about it. It could escalate how my story has happened. And I just want sisters to know that, you know, this happened to me, it could happen to you. You know, Shaytan could come and whisper the same things to you too. And it all starts with one good deed. And obviously we both played our roles in this situation, and he played his and I played mine, and I can only take responsibility for mine. And I don't want any of my sisters going down the same path as me. So I just want to say to sisters, be careful, keep everything, you know, as halal as possible, even if it is work. Think about your actions, you know, remember that Allah is watching, and maybe just don't even put yourself in those situations where you can be questioning yourself and, you know, that little niggling feeling in your head, you know, oh, it's only one good deed, it's only this once. Like, my once turned into something so horrible that has just ruined how I feel about everything. So I just want my sisters to not fall into the same trap as me.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Welcome back. As you've seen the video, the sister's story, and I'm sure you have been touched as much as I have been, and it's been really traumatic for her. Basically what I'm going to do in here in the video is basically I'm going to go through how the sister could have avoided the situation. But before I do that, I just want to share a few story. Now, I don't know if you guys heard of the story of Barsisa, right? Barsisa was a pious man, and basically there was 3 brothers and 1 sister, their sister, and these brothers were going to jihad, and they didn't know where to leave their sister, right? Then they thought, you know, who can look after her? And they thought, you know what, Barsisa is a pious man. You know, I'm sure he's a really good guy. Let's just drop our sister next to him, and he will take care of her till we, inshallah, if we come back. And I'm just going to cut it short. They leave their sister there, and Barsisa first he refuses. He says, look, I can't. But they just say, look, you're the pious man. You know, there's no one else in the town. So they leave the sister with her. Now Barsisa is very afraid of this. So what he does is when he's given the sister food, she's staying in another room, he would just leave it outside and back off, right? She gets her food. So what happens is Shaytan starts whispering in his ear, saying, look here, she's maybe feeling lonely, you know, maybe just go talk to her. You don't need to go inside the house, inside the room, you can just talk through the doors, right? And he goes, okay, I'll do that. So what happens, they start communicating, right, between the doors. And what happens is Shaytan starts further going on, look here, nothing's going to happen. Just go inside and just talk to her. Anyways, this leads on to a point where Barsisa ends up committing zina with the sister, right? And they have a child. And the whole scenario gets even worse because now he's in a situation, he's in a dilemma where the brothers are going to come back. And when they come back, what's he going to say to them? You know, he's not going to say nothing. So the Shaytan whispers in his ears and says, look, you need to get rid of the baby and this woman. You know, if you don't, they're going to come and they're going to kill you. So what he does is he ends up killing the baby and killing the girl, right? Because the Shaytan in stages gets him to do that. Now what happens is the brothers come back, right? And they go, look, where's our sister? And Barsisa has to make a story up, and he says, look, sister, your sister got ill and she died, right? And then basically they believe this story until the brothers have a dream. They all have a dream where the Shaytan comes to them and says, look, Barsisa killed your sister and the baby. And the next day they go and find the body of the sister and the baby. Shaytan comes to him because the brothers are going to kill him. So, and the Shaytan says, you know, I put you into this mess and I can get you out of this mess. All I want from you is to prostrate to me, right? And this man, this pious man, look where he was and look where he came, right? This pious man ends up prostrating and dying in that state of shirk, right? So look at this. Do you think if the Shaytan came to him at first and said, Barsisa, prostrate to me, do you think he would have prostrated to him? No, he wouldn't. The Shaytan does it step by step. He starts you off like that. The reason why I'm telling you this is because it relates exactly to the sister's story. She started this off with the Shaytan's good deed, which I call, by getting her to do a good deed to drop him home. Just a simple good deed. You know, the Shaytan probably said to her, look, there's nothing wrong, the guy's freezing. You know, just drop him off home. What happened? She would drop him off home. Then after that, what would happen? They would spend time in the car. They would go out together after work. Eventually, where it led to the guy trying to go on top of her. Do you get what I'm trying to say, sisters? You need to acknowledge this. You know, when it comes to males, right? When it comes to males, jumping in your car, whether you've been in alone, do not do this good deed because it will damage you more. You saying no to him is better than you saying yes to him and falling for this trap, right? It's very simple. If a man comes to you with all this, like I'm freezing or whatever, you say no. if it's in the workplace or wherever it is. You know, I just want to share another quick story before you guys go. Basically, me, Brother Musa and Mello, we was out shopping, right? We was in Hounslow for a reason. And we just went to, we went to, I think it was Iceland, right? And we went inside, and basically, when we went inside, there's a back room, right? In the back room, there's a sister in a hijab, right? And there's a guy, this is what I saw. There is a guy, don't get me wrong, anything like that, but he's like playing around with her stomach or something like that. You know, this is the problem, sister. Why do you let a man touch you? So what happened was I talked to Musa and I said, look, I'm going to speak to this brother. You know, why is he going there and, you know, touching the sister like that for? In a workplace. See, when you're working with males, you do not let a male touch you in that manner. Because what you're doing is you're allowing him. You're saying, look, I'm fine with these kind of stuff. So I had to go speak with the brother and tell him. And you know what he said to me? He goes, look, I'm not a Muslim. And I couldn't say nothing to him. You know, it's wrong what he was doing, but I couldn't tell him nothing. You know, because he's telling me I'm not a Muslim. And he has a point. If you're a sister and you're working in a workplace, you do not let a man touch you in that way. Because you do not know how a man thinks. You know, you allowing him touching you like that or just joking around with you, a man thinks you like him, you probably like him, or you're just, you know, you don't mind these kind of activities. You are asking for trouble, sisters, right? We are putting our time out with my team to acknowledge, to give this message to you guys to be careful. Even that little joke, playing around, whatever, in a man's mind, he thinks something else. So just to cut it short, I hope you guys benefited. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Share this as much as you can, not for our benefit, but for your benefits. You know, we're putting this down, we don't make money out of this. You know, we're putting it so you sisters can wake up and I can get less messages of sisters crying, you know? And thank you very much for watching. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy and blessings be upon you all. Thank you very much and take care.